I would like to show you guys is how to cut out with the pen tool. The pen tool is the best tool if the object that you have has hard edges or like geometric shapes and is not furry. This will be quite a bit faster for you, and you won't have to worry about going over the edges again afterward. So if you go over to your toolbar here, this is the pen tool. If I hold it down, you might have one of these other things there. The pen tool, this one at the top can be used for more like hard lines. And the curvature pen tool is the one that does the, soft curved lines. So because I'm starting out with something that has hard lines here, I'm going to go to the pen tool and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to take this, I'm going to ignore this little line and white spot right there, and I'm going to bring it right there, and I'm going to click. And every time I click, it sets a new point. And again, if it's geometric, now if I get a bit closer there, you can see, and I'm just going to go around clicking. Now, if it is a curved area like this isn't completely straight, so it might not look right. And even back here, it's a little bit curved. I'm just going to switch to my curvature pen tool, and you're going to see that as I click, there's going to be a curve. If I'm not happy with the curve, like right there, and I want to bring it down right now, I can actually move this point back and forth, and I can move it up and down. So I can also click in like on that line and add another point to the curve. If I have lots of lines close together, it's going to follow more closely. And sometimes you'll notice it just does some wacky things. And I'm just going around. And again, if it's like a tight curve, I'm probably going to want to add more little points to it. And once you get used to this, you can do this in minutes. I'm back over to a geometric area, so I'm using the pen tool. And actually, I'm going to back up a little bit there. And then because that's curved, I'll just switch back over here. And I think you're going to kind of get the idea here of how this works. Again, once you kind of get used to this, I mean, I like to stay pretty close as I do this. You don't have to get super close though and do like a million little curves. You'll lose your mind. I taught somebody once how to do this, and they took like an hour and a half on a rather simple thing, and I was like, what happened? They were clicking every single little piece, and I thought that would have driven me crazy. It was a job that should only take a few minutes. So you can see I'm just switching in between in order to cut this out. And I'm going to speed this up so that you guys can just follow along on your own. Okay, when you guys get down to the bottom here, you can actually just select by going like this underneath and around. Oops. And the idea is to bring it straight to our starting point and to click on that point. Now, full disclosure, oops. Full disclosure, I did not cut out the windshield, or not the windshield, the mirror, and I should have, but just for the purposes of showing you how to do this on this video, I did not, but you should for practice. So I have this whole thing cut out now. It's a blue line. I connected the lines at the end. In order to get the background out from this, I am going to go to Layer, Vector Mask, Current Path. That gets rid of that. It's not quite ready though. I'm going to click over here on this part of the gray on the layer. I'm going to right click it and I'm going to rasterize the object. And now here's my mask. So if there was something I wanted to do, like say I didn't do such a great job on an edge, I could just go in, or say even just wanted to get rid of that. With my mask selected, I can use a black brush. I'll make it a hard brush because all the other edges are hard. And I can go in and just erase that out if I'm unhappy with it. And say there was another part that I wanted to add to, then I could go in and add to it. But I don't really want to do that. And when I'm finally finished, I am happy with it. I'm going to right click on the mask and apply the layer mask. And here is my fire truck ready to go. If I want to check and make sure that I'm happy with how it looks against a black background, just to be sure, I can do what we did the last time, which is click the add a new background layer. I'm going to put it underneath. I could even call it background. Sometimes if you get into really big projects, you can work with hundreds of layers. So getting used to labeling your layers is a really good thing. So I've got the background selected. I'm going to select the color black and fill it in there. And now I could see if there was anything that I was going to fix up. And I can see that I do have like some of those lines around. I guess I could have got closer with some of those. And again, if I'm not happy, I can always just go add a layer mask and use a black brush. In this case, a hard brush because it is a hard surface. And I could just go in there and fix those little bits up if I'm unhappy how they turned out the first time. And, you know, if I just like, I don't really want that there, I could get rid of that. It looked a little jagged over here. I could just smooth that out a bit. So these are all corrections I could make before I go and I decide that's what I want or that's what I want to hand in. And again, if I want to fix that up, I can apply my layer mask. So the first thing I'd like to do is save this as a Photoshop file. So that's the first one I'll do. And just for the purposes of handing this in, normally you don't have to save them all like this, remember that. But for the purposes of handing this in, please go to Layer, Flatten Image, and save it as a JPEG. And that's so that I can see how well you cut out on your edges. And then the second thing you're gonna do is Control Z, go backwards. We'll get rid of this background And I'd also like you to save it as a PNG for me so that I understand you know how to save things well. And then you guys are going to submit both this PNG with a transparent background and your JPEG. Please don't send me Photoshop files because I can't open them. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I hope you found this one easier and less time consuming than the other.